Another month goes by, and still no Terraria desert boss. Let's hope the prospects of one being added are not as dry as the desert itself. As I speak, Relogic are planning to introduce the Orca to the latest update of Terraria, a formerly console exclusive reskin of the shark with better stats.
No! Oh, who'd have thought a whale could be so heavy?
No one would have expected that change. Clearly, anything is possible, and knowing is half the battle. What I find really interesting about the desert in Terraria is that it was introduced in 2011, the original release of the game, but the underground desert wouldn't be released until 2015. This was the 1.3 update. The Journey's End update in 2020 made underground deserts deeper. 2022's Labour of Love update increased the minimum size an underground desert will be. Over the course of a few years, we have had gradual updates to both the desert and the underground desert itself. And now I think it's time for another. So keep in mind, these are my opinions. So if we tackle the desert itself, I think pre-hard mode it is interesting. The surface desert, on a day at least, we are dealing with two primary enemies. The vulture, which is drawn in a way that makes it look like it's got a magic eye on its back, and the antlion. Both of these enemies could be daunting to new players. The antlion is capable of spitting a powerful projectile, and as a result can be hard to approach if you don't have much gear on you. A vulture can chase you a significant distance if you are unable or unwilling to fight it with the tools that you have. But once you've gotten used to the game, the desert is actually quite a peaceful place. Remember, I'm just talking about the surface for now. Once you have ranged weapons, the vulture and the antlion become entirely trivial, and the surface desert is pretty much empty, which makes sense. We are literally dealing with a desert, but that also makes it peaceful and potentially easy early on. Hard mode doesn't really change much, it just really gives us mummies at the surface, which are just reskinned zombies anyway. Each variant of a mummy can inflict a debuff on you, but apart from that they are not really significant. Surface desert, pleasing to look at, low enemy variety, not really threatening, that's it. And I do like the music though. And now it's time for the underground desert. And this feels like the entire opposite. In pre-hard mode and hard mode itself, we are dealing with enemy swarms. Constant noise. Some of the most effective use of darkness in the game. And a friendly golfer that we can rescue. The enemy variety is quite good. We'll have antlions throughout the day. We'll have the infamous antlion charges that will, true to their name, run at you with full force. The antlion swarmers, now we've got something with a lot of range. These two variants of antlions can come in different sizes with boosted stats. We've also got the sand slime which can blend into the background. And the tomb crawler worm that can take you by surprise. Everywhere and everywhere there are these tiny little cacti balls that can inflict significant damage and will keep on moving until they break. Antlion lava can scatter around, whittling down your health unnoticed. What better way to make this more frantic and claustrophobic than introducing a boss? Naturally it would make sense if it was some sort of antlion king or queen, capable of embodying all of the elements of the individual antlions. Tough and capable of flight like the swarmer, a devastating up-close attack like the charger, and a powerful projectile like the original antlion. An antlion boss I think would be thematically appropriate, and the design itself of the underground desert and the frequency of the antlion species makes it appear as if the entire biome is one giant nest of them. Some people, however, may want to lean into the Egyptian inspiration a bit more. A desert biome may contain a pyramid, although it might not. In much fictional media, deserts tend to have cacti, which in real life are only native to American deserts. American and Egyptian combinations are what deserts in media and pop culture look like. Cacti very briefly were able to hurt you in Terraria, but that was removed years ago. That is something that may take somebody by surprise if they are used to something like Minecraft, where cacti definitely hurt. What if there was some sort of mini-boss added to the surface desert pre-hard mode to give it more variety? It blends in with the cacti, but is actually a sinister creature. Desert deception, you must mean a mirage. We could have it so it would appear that there is a chest, but there actually isn't one there. This addition I think would be interesting because it would make mimics in hard mode appear more convincing to the new player. They would have gone through pre-hard mode deserts and think, oh, hallucinating chests, oh, there's nothing there. Then hard mode comes along and we've got these chests appearing outside of a desert. Ooh, back to Egypt. An Egyptian deity or mummy based boss would make sense. When I say based I mean inspired, like how the Moon Lord does not look identical to the creature that it's based on. Relogic put their own spin and backstory onto things. Now as for the underground desert in hard mode, we have swarms and swarms of brand new enemies. Ghouls are not particularly special. We've got basilisks which essentially occupy the same niche as the antlion chargers. We've got my favourite, the sand poachers, who can easily blend into the darkness with a powerful attack, defeat you if you are completely surprised by them. You've got the lamias that don't really do much, but defeating them can get you a nice vanity item. The tomb crawler can be upgraded to another Dune reference, the Dune Splicer. And now the underground desert is even more tense, even more frantic, as the music pounds away as you fight scorpions on the background walls that blend into the darkness, as the giant sandworms appear out of nowhere to harm you. Suddenly it feels as if nowhere is safe. In terms of how a desert boss could be introduced, as in how it spawns, well, I've got some ideas. If we were dealing with an antlion type boss, then I've got a unique one. If we interpret the underground desert to be an antlion's den, perhaps if you break a certain number of blocks in the biome, you'll get those creepy messages in the corner of the screen. Maybe breaking something like 50 blocks in the hard mode underground desert would trigger a message such as, "You feel the swarm grow. You hear the sound of crumbling rocks. The antlions grow louder." Every time a few blocks are destroyed, a new message appears. What if we make it so it doesn't actually go into a frenzy if you leave the desert at all? What if we make it so it will hunt you down over a long distance at great speed, in little strafe runs, where it will deliberately try and wear you down by flying far enough away that it will spit projectiles before returning back to its charges, that it can fling sand blocks upon your head? Who knows? If you're sat there thinking, well, what about the frosty biomes? Well, they already have the ice golem as a mini-boss, and we have frost-based events anyway. And we've got the fact that deserts were introduced when the game came out and ice and snow biomes were not existing at that time. And the most damning evidence of all, me typing into Google frost biome in as an autocomplete suggestion of in real life. Surely you mean the Arctic at that point. It's scary that people are typing in ice biome in real life, or frost biome in real life. Have they never heard of something called geography? Truly the desert is the place to be. Let me know what you think and if you agree. Either way, I will likely make a similar video about your weird frost biome search results. I mean just a general video about the snow biome and that having a boss that's more integrated into the setting. I think it would make sense to the game for each biome to have its own boss. As for what you could get from a desert boss, could be a weapon perhaps. The Mirage Maker, a spear that pierces through blocks and causes confusion on valid opponents. Or an item made to use a weapon called the Sand Stealer, an upgraded version of the Sand Gun. Or how about something ridiculous? Defeating this antlion boss or whatever reveals that there is an NPC who is used as some sort of power conduit. You can recruit this pharaoh or whatever, and he'll give you a buff when you speak to him. It will be called the Gift of Oasis. No, he doesn't sing Wonderwall, it will provide clarity, buffing all damage by 5%, highlighting mimics, and to keep receiving this blessing, you will have to build him a shrine, and add to the shrine. Donate some gold, and add to the shrine. That was my ridiculous idea. I would love to hear yours. If you disagree with the things I've said, then word is in the middle of the street that the fire in your heart is out, and maybe you're going to be the one that changes me. And after all, if you want to feel fine, then you gotta build that shrine. But seriously, there is a lot of scope and a lot of room to make something truly unique. It'll be interesting to see what gets added to this game in future. Either way, something I've said already on my previous Terraria videos, this is a game from 2011 that is still getting updates. If you bought it for your PC in 2011, you are still getting updates on that purchase. This is a game that has evolved, and when you thought it was done, it kept evolving, and then you thought it was done again, and it kept evolving, like a champagne supernova of good ideas. Stop me before I start writing down pharaoh names and add it to the Terraria official forums about improvements to add to the game. We might as well be as creative as we possibly can be. At the end of the day, we don't want to look back in anger, I heard you say. Be creative. If you are familiar with my previous videos, you may think that I sound different. I am using a different microphone, that would be why. I'm using the Neat King B2 XLR condenser microphone. Oh look, we're continuing the bee thing that my YouTube channel is like. Such a great theme, like a desert really. Let me know if you want Morrowind continuing, but I am happy playing Terraria again. No, I am not sponsored by Neat microphones. Like my previous 2 Terraria videos, I drew this one in Krita, the thumbnails. Don't go away from the channel because you are supersonic, so stop crying your heart out. Truly, Terraria has a master plan for going forwards. Some might say the game casts no shadow, as it can still go for years and years of great updates. Well, I think that's enough of my Oasis puns for now, but either way, let's roll with it. Thank you very much for watching and hearing this different microphone. Good day and goodbye.